point, we've heard stuff from Tulsa, we've heard stuff from FSU, we've heard the biggest story from UNLV with the Matthew Sluka situation. It looks real nasty that a kid of that age has to sue, but it also looks pretty grimy that you're on your third, fourth team. Another day, another person back in the transfer portal, Mr. Jordan Rashada, a very controversial subject, character, person, player in the world of college football, as he, of course, filed that notorious lawsuit against Florida and Billy Napier and them boys out there, signed to Florida, requested out of his national letter of intent over some NIL money that apparently didn't get paid, and that was after backing out of a Miami deal. This dude's got a long rap sheet. So he just recently entered the transfer portal today. We're going to do like a small brief recap of where he was, where he was, where he's going to go, where he could go, and really what this means for the whole idea of the transfer portal and kind of the craziness that it's really becoming. I'm not sure. Some people call it the NIL, calls the issue. Some people say it's transfer portals. I think it's a conglomeration, something like that. One of them big words. But if you enjoy college football content, transfer portal stuff, everything else in between, man, leave a like on the video. If you don't, dislike the video. Subscribe if you enjoy that content, and we're going to get right into it. So, Mr. Jordan, or Jaden Rashada, I probably called him Jordan Rashada in the beginning. Let's get a little bit of a breakdown of where he's done, where he's been, and how he's going. Now, obviously, the Georgia Bulldogs just recently lost in the Sugar Bowl. First things first, prayers to Kirby Smart's family. His father, I believe, passed. So, shout out to all my dogs. I have a lot of dogs that are my friends. So, I'm not sure if they're going through a hard time, but their coach is going through a hard time. So, prayers up for them. Hope everything's great. But other than that, they also lost Jaden Rashada. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I think Mr. Brock is going to be able to figure it out. Wait, not Brock. What's his name? Gunner. God, these names. Gunner Stockton. This is such a crazy name. Gunner Stockton is going to be able to figure it out. So, since 2022, Jaden Rashada has committed to Miami, decommitted to Miami, flipped to Florida, then never signed with Florida, enrolled at ASU. Again, that was the whole national letter of intent thing. Sued Florida when he was at Arizona State, then transferred from Arizona State to Georgia, and now he's back in the transfer portal, and he's played no meaningful football whatsoever. So a very, very interesting situation about it. And really, if I could spoil what the other part of this video is going to be, and it's not going to be as long as the Jaden Rashada stuff, is the announcement that, if you're a Georgia fan, have no fear. You lose Jaden Rashada, you might lose some depth at quarterback, but you did pick up one of the biggest names in the transfer portal. So if you're a Georgia fan, hey man, y'all are good. You got Zachariah Branch. You got his brother too, his twin. I believe they're twins. They're linked together. So now you got someone to bolster you for the secondary, and then definitely an instant starter, an instant piece that can do kick return, punt return, wide receiver. You can put him in the back, I think, if you want. I mean, he's not as stocky, but if you need to get some play. So shout out to the Georgia guys. They are winning that in the transfer portal as they lose Jaden Rashada. Again, this is not going to be a big loss for them, but him and himself, the enigma himself, I think is a bigger story, a bigger name, a bigger thing that has things going on. And I think this one's even more detailed of kind of where he's been to. So this will kind of show you even more detail, right? So commits to Miami, commits to Florida, signs with Florida. Like I said, signs with Florida, receives release from Florida, signs with ASU, plays 3 games, leaves ASU, transfers to Florida. And then this year, or last year, he sues Billy Napier, and now he's leaving. So I keep talking about the sue thing. Look, I don't know much about the kid's play. I do have his high school tape at the end, so if we have enough time at the end, we can see, because a lot of people say the dude's a dog, right? A lot of people say he can sling the balls, but really, and I'll let this play for a little bit in the background while I introduce the bigger part of this, and it's this insane NIL lawsuit, right? We're going to kind of look through some of these documents. It was officially filed, like I said, in May of 2024. And it states some things and some claims that, there was a lot of promised money that wasn't paid out. And I think it's so crazy that we've seen multiple now lawsuits of this. So it's more... This isn't really about Jaden Rashada. I'm not really sure if he's right, wrong, left, or right. We could talk about him transferring to all these other places. Hey, man, maybe you just don't want to compete. If Arizona State, you couldn't figure it out, I don't know. But Sam Levin's a dog, so, hey. But you know what I mean? Maybe you need to go down to a smaller school, and hopefully he could do that. I'm all about that. But when it comes to this NIL stuff, I don't want to hold him in any negative regard. I don't want to put him in some crazy space. But apparently, there was some things that he's backed out, and we've talked about multiple stories on this channel about play. We just talked about the player that signed and then left, and then on top of that, the potential with how do you regulate players getting NIL money from collectives and then leaving. Caden Proctor, he literally went to Iowa, signed an NIL deal, got up out of there and went to Alabama. So there is some there's some griminess. Okay, I think we watched most of the highlights while I was yapping. There's some griminess on both sides that we have to look into. So let's look at what we have so far, just for some details. We also have a video too. So also, just to kind of point out, just a week ago, Jaden Rashada did say this: I think I needed this place a lot right now in my life. Rashada said on Monday, Sugar Bowl Media Day for college football playoff quarterfinal against Notre Dame, I needed Georgia specifically. In his first public interview since joining the Bulldogs, Rashada didn't go into detail about his recruiting process in Georgia or anywhere else. He didn't need to. Most of it's already public. I mean, hey, that's there you go. Man, it's just, again, no negatives against him. It's just that he's going to forever be an enigma when it comes to how things go. So Jaden Rashada, of course, asked to be released from his national letter of intent. I went all the way back to get the original tweets, right? Rumors of an NIL deal falling through is the reason why. Now, that was just the rumblings. And then, of course, Jaden Rashada has been released from the LI. It was reported he was promised $13 million doll hairs by their NIL collective, but informed him that was no longer the case after he signed his national letter of intent. And that's Bryce Underwood money right there. So that is a contract that apparently has been promised to somebody. 13 over 4. We've seen that before. And here's another little snippet here too. Jaden Rashada has an on-3 NIL valuation of $450,000. His broken deal with the Gator Collective was worth $13.85 million over 4 years. An ACC assistant described the deal as the dumbest thing he's ever heard. That's not adding up. That's definitely not adding up. But let's see what this has to say. I think this is a little snippet from it. We charted quarterback Jaden Rashada's recruitment from his discovery to his Miami commitment to since the termination of his $13.85 deal to Florida. It's a tour through the untamed world of recruiting, right? Rashada signed the NIL contract that day. It called for a $500,000 upfront payment. After that, his payments would increase from $250 a month as a freshman, $290 as a month to a sophomore, $370 with $195 altogether monthly payments as a senior. Oh wow, that's not bad. So long as he fulfilled the following obligations: residence in Gainesville, Florida, at least one branded Twitter post and one branded Instagram post per month, up to 8 fan engagement events per year, appearances, yada yada, and autograph up to 15 pieces of merchandise. And I believe this goes into deeper, but it is the Athletic, so you're probably gonna have to pay for it. Very, very crazy situation. I believe here we are with some more excerpts too. Oh wow, this was a little more lengthy than I thought, right? You have in the United States District Court, Jordan Rashada, who's the plaintiff, versus Hugh Hatchcock, William Billy Napier, Marcus Castro Walker, and Velocity Automotive Solutions. So I guess that is the car company that's like locked in with the whole, producing the money or whatnot. So we'll just get into this intro real quick. The unsuccessful recruitment of star high school quarterback Jaden Rashada to the University of Florida is emblematic of the abuses running rampant in the world of big-time college football. Student athletes can now be paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness, more common on NIL, yada, yada, yada. It just gets real sticky, dog. It just gets real sticky. Georgia quarterback Jaden Rashada, this is May 21st. I think this is the official, is suing Florida coach Billy Napier and the boosters in federal court for fraud and other allegations over failed $13.85 million deal. Said the booster would wire $1 million if Rashada signed to UF. That's crazy. And then here's another part of that snippet that we were just looking at there, because I'm not reading that whole thing. It's in the latest chapter in the NIL Field storyline between Rashada and the Gators. It's another unprecedented moment in college sports with a current quarterback suing a head coach. For a student to sue a coach, it basically says that school via its head coach is making the offer, not putting through the collective for a third party, but directly through a school. What Deion Sanders has been saying, what Nick Saban has been saying, what we've all been known to saying, and it's the biggest issue with people trying to pay these kids directly, is that there's no rules. And with no rules, we have situations like this, right? I don't know who to be mad at. I don't know if Jaden Rashada is tripping. I don't know if Billy Napier is not paying out. Again, at this point, we've heard stuff from Tulsa. We've heard stuff from FSU. We've heard the biggest story from UNLV with the Matthew Sluka situation of people not getting their NIL payments. Getting promised one thing, and then when they show up, it's a whole nother thing. Okay, so I'm gonna have to hold my tongue when it comes to the full perspective on this whole situation. But it looks nasty. It looks real nasty and real grimy. That a kid of that age has to sue at this point. But it also looks pretty grimy that you're on your third, fourth team. Like, I hope these kids know, and shout out to Matt B. Diddy. Matt B. Great made a really good point. He released his video before I could. Gosh darn it, I was trying to race him to get it. I was actually watching his video about it. And he made a good point about the people representing these kids. And it's like, are y'all in the best interest? Like, I get looking out for money. Like, but anyone who's made money and anyone who's been a part of a deal, if you have, and you've had a real work, you know that, like I said, you got to break some eggs sometimes. Like, sometimes the best place isn't just about all the money and all the like, there's a lot of other things, right? Like back in the day when those 5-star, 4-stars kept going to Georgia kept going to Alabama when they knew there were 4 or 5 stars, whatever, is because they knew if they got 1 year of playing time, they'll be guaranteed to go into the NFL. Like there's reasons, there's sacrifices, right? It might not have been as comfortable, right? You might not have got as many Hellcats as Kirby gives out at Georgia. But by golly gee, you're going to the NFL if you play a season. If you start a season at Alabama, you're heading to an NFL team. I can guarantee it. So are we really truly looking at the full scope? We go from a place like Arizona State, which at that year, what was that? That was just after Jaden Daniels left, right? And then now you go to Georgia. Did you go to Georgia just to cash out on NIL money? That's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like I'm going to go to this big name school to just get paid, because if Gunnar Stockton was already there, you know the style of quarterback they're looking for. You're a more long type athletic guy. You know what I mean? It's not adding up to me. At some point, we do have to look at these kids or at least their representation and say, how have we gotten to the point that we have to sue for NIL money? How have we gotten to the point that we've committed, decommitted, recommitted, and now in the transfer portal from Arizona? We don't talk about this, I think, because we just like look at them as like logos and schools. From Arizona to Georgia, and now he's in the portal. And there's we're going to figure it out. I hope he stays on the Southeast, because that is crazy. He went all the way to Arizona for a year, played 3 games, said, I'm done with it. Dog, crazy landscape of the transfer portal. But hey, I wish the best to Rashada. Shout out to Georgia for picking up Zachariah Branch, though. He's a dog. They're going to have great billies there. This whole lawsuit thing, I hope it comes to a conclusion. Like I said, it's only been officially done since May. But that's going to set a major a major precedent and a major ripple effect across college football. And now when you add in revenue sharing, I don't know, my head hurts, man. I'm not smart enough to understand all this stuff, man. I'm not. But you are. So leave a like on this video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Comment down below if I'm missing anything. Educate me. Show me the way. Subscribe. Do all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next time.